can you retrospectively beef up your soundproofing? Jim Pryor is from TP Soundproofing in Royal Leamington Spa. Jim, good morning from Birmingham. Good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Nice to talk to you. First of all, what about my comments, my observations on new build properties? Do you think that's fairly on the money, Jim, that walls are very thin and you can hear people stomping around and flushing the toilet next door?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair comment. It's the construction of the building, not normally, it's not people making noise that's really the problem. People are just living their lives, and it is the construction of the building that's causing the problem. That is, yeah. So the construction of the building for new builds, yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail, but it's been proven that the dot and dab plasterboard technique does amplify the noise.
Right. So if I was to build a block of flats from an older building, and I wanted to, because I'm a very private individual, Jim, and I wanted to sound insulate myself from the next door neighbour. The way that new builds are put together, are they done on a budget? Hence why they only just fit probably the legal requirements.
They do just fly through the testing. Yes, they do just meet the government standard, and it is I suppose that is the problem with noisy neighbours. That feeling of uncomfortable, that feeling of annoyance and stress that you get from having noise from neighbours. It only has to be slight. It doesn't have to be. It could just be that slight noise coming through the party wall that can give you that stress and annoyance feeling.
Yes. What is a party wall, Jim?
A party wall is a separating wall between you and your neighbours. And it can be a separating floor. If you have a flat, that would be the room above. So that would be like a separating ceiling, separating floor. As far as semi-detached, each semi-detached will have one party wall. A terrace will have two.
Yes, on each side.
Yeah.
And what goes in a party wall? Because this is where you want your sound insulation, isn't it?
Right, so a party wall constructs it's many different ways depending on the age of the building. Sometimes it can be single brick, sometimes it can be double skin, i.e. 2 layers of brick. Sometimes it can have that cavity between. What we offer as a soundproofing company, we give you that additional layer. So we give you like a floating frame, a frame isolated from that party wall with 10 layers in it, giving you that peace of mind that noise is not going to come through that. So whether you have a single brick or double skin, you've got that extra layer of soundproofing.
So would you need to rip down one side of the wall and rip through all the plaster?
Not necessarily. If it's been renovated like a new build, yes, generally that will have to be taken back to the block work, the sort of thermalite blocks that they're constructed with. But it is, yes, it's a lot of it is removing what's already there, and that flanking areas. I must stress that point. It's not a case of just putting a system on that party wall, that separating wall ceiling. You must do that flanking areas, and that's what we try to do. Is we try to educate people that when you soundproof that party wall or separating wall, ceiling, floor, it's with a high quality solution. It's only half the job. The flanking areas must be addressed as part of the solution.
What are the flanking areas, Jim?
So a flanking area, if we just keep it simple to a sort of semi-detached or semi-detached building, a flanking area would be something like the chimney stack, the floor. Some semis have a floor.
Sound gets through the floor.
Or the ceiling, or even the window wall. A window wall is a massive area missed by a lot of people. That window wall is an exterior wall, but it's that noise coming around any soundproofing investment, okay? That's what's key to the success of any soundproofing project.
Okay, and let's just say you did need to rip down the plasterboard. What is it that you replace and then put a new plasterboard up with? What is it? Is it like a foam or something?
So, if we take one of our systems, sorry to go, but an TPS 80 offer an 80% noise improvement. It's 150mm thick. That's 5 3/4 inches in space loss for that particular system. There are smaller systems, but let's go with this one. Now, what do we replace it with? We remove the plasterboard and we'd install a floating frame. That's a frame isolated from the ceiling, wall and floor. 25mm air gap all the way around, and of course a 25mm air gap off of the party wall too. Now that frame is isolated from the structure before we even start soundproofing, and then we fill that 10 layers of to answer your question, it's like a rock wall type dense mineral wall. Then we install barrier mats, resilient bars, cement board. The similar product used to get underneath your Bunsen burners at school, that fibre board, not the asbestos type, but the more updated one. And then two different types of barrier mat, followed by a sort of dense sound block board. Really dense one is quite difficult to get hold of. It's a dense board, followed by your 2 layers of plaster. We do the whole service, complete plaster finish, refit skirting, electrical, everything for you, including the paint decorating and the carpet refitting. So there's a lot to it. So
how effective are they? So you must hear, stories from your customers, mustn't you, before and after?
Yes. So yes, we get. It's very effective. I mean,
effective.
It's life changing, I suppose, for a lot of people.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we do domestic soundproofing, and we install that sound insulation which reduces the noise and allows people to stay in the homes they love. And that's anything from noisy neighbours through to soundproof steam rooms.
Yeah. And what are gyms and things? Soundproof steam rooms.
Soundproof steam rooms, and we do.
That's amazing. And just finally, what you've just said is something that I hadn't even considered. Allowing people to stay in the houses they love, which is just so powerful, isn't it? Because some people would have to have this decision about whether to move because of noisy neighbours.
Yes, exactly. It is a big decision for people, and that's why what we do is the customers are at the heart of what we do. So we spend a lot of time with them to make sure that they are comfortable with their soundproofing investment, because it is a big decision for them. It's a big emotional decision for them, whether to move or have soundproofing. Soundproofing is a lot less disruption and a lot more cost effective than moving. But
how much is a typical wall, Jim?
So a wall, a decent wall system will be between £3,000 and £4,000 for a decent wall system. But as I said, the key is the flanking areas. That's the most important thing.
All right. And do you lose a bit of the cubic area space? Does the wall come in a little bit, even by 25 mil?
Yeah. So our most popular system, the TPS 70, is 90 mil thick, which is 3.5 inches off of your party wall, off your alcoves, and then maybe a couple of inches or an inch or so off of the flanking areas, which would be your. But if you're removing, don't forget, a lot of the new builds, you're removing that plasterboard first, so the space loss can be nothing on some properties.
Jim, this is brilliant. This is just what we were after the Boris Johnson thing, and maybe you might get a business down in the West End of London. A bit of business when Boris moves back in. Thanks for talking to me, Jim. And you're based in Leamington, that's correct? TP.
Yeah, we do the whole of the Midlands, but we're based in Leamington Spa.
All right, nice to talk to you, Jim. Thanks very much indeed. TP Soundproofing in Leamington Spa.